Welcome to Investigation. I am your host, Hatter, along with my co-hosts,
Scoot
and Cass.
not Scoob, not Scoo, Scoot. Every time I transcribe the episode for just, overall accessibility purposes, they keep getting Scoot's name wrong and I can't edit it. So it's been Scoob, the last one, and then there was Scoo. So we're wondering which one's going to come next, but they just can't seem. It's like Rapunzel, Tangled, Eugene with the nose.
Yeah.
They can't get my name right. They just can't get my nose right,
They
man.
can't get my name
And then you, can't get my name.
But today, Scoot is covering a paranormal case for us.
The Smurl haunting.
The Smurl haunting.
Smurl.
Ooh. I did vaguely read over, not any of the information, but I remember the name from when I was looking up cases.
So I want to go ahead and make a note here. Trigger warning for sexual assault.
Oh, I do remember this. Oh, no.
Oh.
As soon as you said trigger warning for sexual assault, it flashed back into my brain.
I also just want to kind of make a note here. I had a hard time finding an exact, consistent timeline of the paranormal events, so I don't have one actually listed for these events.
Yeah, you'll just recount what happened. We're just not sure the order of which they happened in.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, in 1972, Jack and Janet Smurl were living in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Is it Barry? I thought it was Wilkes-Barre.
I heard Wilkes-Barre. Is it Wilkes-Barre?
I can look it up.
Yeah, I thought it was Wilkes-Barre.
I think I was on Reddit at some point, and I think someone in the comments say, we in PA pronounce it Wilkes-Barre. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because it's spelled like Wilkes-Barre, but you could pronounce it as Wilkes-Barre.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, if the general
Yeah.
Pennsylvania population says Barry,
Then
go
yes,
for it.
definitely. Because
yeah,
it's the same thing as if someone had said the full name of Philadelphia, whereas PA residents just call it Philly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I always say Philadelphia because
yeah.
we also have listeners who are not from PA, so it's
Yeah. Now, they had two daughters, Dawn and Heather. In that year, 1972, Hurricane Angus actually destroyed their home from flooding.
Oh.
So they were forced to begin a search for a new place to live. Now, in October of 1973, they moved into a duplex at 328 Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Now, the home was an old fixer-upper in a middle-class, quiet neighborhood. The house was originally built somewhere around 1910 over former coal mines. Now, I will make a note that local historians say that it carries no dark past, or at least none that has been documented.
okay.
Now, Janet and Jack Smurl moved into one side of the duplex, while Jack's parents occupied the other half. Now, Janet would later give birth to twin daughters, Sharon and Karen, while living in the Chase Street duplex.
Sharon and Karen, which are unfortunate twin names.
Well, it's also, I'd also like to point out, Karen is spelled Carin.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Because I'm assuming that's how
because
you
of
say it is
Sharon.
Karen. I don't know how
Yeah.
else you would say that.
I just think it's always weird when people name their twins so close.
I know.
I mean, I'm not judging, but my sister, she has Julia and Lydia, and those are different enough, similar where you kind of get that twinsy vibe, but different enough that it's not just Sharon and Karen, John and Tom. It's
Yeah, or my cousins. I have.
That's my dad and uncle's name.
no.
Really?
Thomas and John. AKA Tom and John.
Oh, that's funny.
No, you said that and I just...
Yeah, well, because I was just gonna mention too. I have cousins that are they're twins, and they called them Randy and Sandy.
That's
Oh,
awful.
no,
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
My dad's a twin, and my grandma wanted to name him, or no, I think it was my dad's biological dad wanted to name him and her Jack and Jill.
No.
Oh.
They settled on Andrew and Audrey, it was cute. That's cute
cute.
twin names.
Yeah.
But now their middle names are, so it's Andrew Jack and Audrey Jill.
while living at the Chase Street duplex in 1977, so roughly about 4 years later. Now, for the first year and a half they lived there, things were quiet in the house. After that, the family began to notice some, unusual things, like a rocking chair moving back and forth on its own.
Oh, yeah, I would say that's unusual, for sure.
I hate that.
Drawers opening and closing by themselves. And unplugged radios would begin blaring music for no reason.
That's spooky.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that here at my house with my migraines. Ugh.
I hate the idea of, having anything. If it comes on, you can always be like, all right, maybe it's just, whatever. I hit the button or, like a TV pops on. You're like, maybe I hit the remote. But when something unplugged turns on,
yep.
It's possessed. That's all you got. That's the only explanation.
That is literally the only explanation at that point. Yeah.
Now, they noticed a dark mark on one of the bedroom walls, and no matter what they did to try to cover it up, we're talking painting over it, things like that, it would reappear.
Oh.
I'm not going to say that's super weird because I've had that happen with old wood. Tannins will seep back through paint. But, I mean, granted, I don't prime. Usually you do a primer and that's what keeps that stuff from happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So maybe they just did a really bad paint job.
Maybe they didn't prime it, did a bad paint job.
They eventually installed wood paneling on the walls of that room.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They said fuck it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, more malevolent occurrences would happen from time to time. Like a foul smell would start manifesting with no explanation, either smelling like sulfur or rotten eggs. Claw marks appeared to have been scratched into remodeled walls when the Smurls began work on some small renovations inside the house. And at first, they thought the paranormal activity was just harmless. But things seemed to be going well at first. Jack was promoted at his job. And after Janet became pregnant, she helped organize an anti-drunk driving group at a local high school. And the kids were doing well in school, so everything seemed to be going great at first.
Going good.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
Then things went downhill from there after Mary, Jack's mother, suffered a heart attack.
Ooh, spoke too soon.
Which in some of my sources, they might link it to the paranormal activity. Meh.
Okay.
Meh. I'm kind of meh on that one.
Yeah, I'm a little mad on that one.
Me too.
I believe in ghosts, but I don't think that they can have that much of an effect on us.
Yeah.
And they started to struggle financially. And that's really when the paranormal activity really started to kind of get worse throughout the years. Now, Mary and Janet claim to have heard voices that sounded like one another.
I have heard a lot of stories about mimics, and they might be the thing that freaks me out the most. It's like when you hear, fiance, your loved one's voice or whatever coming from somewhere in your home, but they're not home and you know that they're not home, or you see them. That's freaky.
But can we backtrack for just a second?
Yeah.
How many kids did they have?
4 total.
Okay, because I was to say, because you said they had 2 daughters and then the twins, and then she was pregnant again.
No, it was during her pregnancy with the twins.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Not a whole nother pregnancy. It was the pregnancy with the twins.
Gotcha, okay.
Now, Janet thought she heard her mother-in-law Mary calling her name, while Mary thought she heard Janet and Jack having an argument with vulgarities involved, which is really kind of strange.
They're not
spooky.
A vulgarity kind of family.
They're Catholic, very religious. Okay. Yeah.
Yep, putting it together now.
Now, there was a specific event that was on April 29th, 1985. It was the night of Heather's confirmation into the Catholic Church. As Heather, Janet, and the other girls were getting ready in the kitchen, a light which was bolted to the ceiling above the island countertop began to shake violently, and then it ripped out of the ceiling and crashed onto the island where 7-year-old Shannon was sitting.
Oh.
Holy crap.
It had barely missed her. And Jack and Janet swear that there was no way that light should have been able to come loose and fall.
Yeah, let alone it just randomly shaking violently without there being in an earthquake or something.
Yeah, a little spook.
Little spook.
Yeah.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down my spine.
Down your spine. I was so close.
You almost had it.
I did. I almost did.
Now, other things that happened were ominous black mists or masses or figures, whatever you want to call them.
Shadowy figures?
Yeah, essentially. Would manifest and float throughout the home. Jana said she was visited in the dead of night by a malevolent force that sexually assaulted her in her sleep.
Oh.
Yep. This is the part that literally, like I said, when you said trigger warning for this, I was like, oh my god, that's right. It's this story.
Then Jack had his own experience. Laying in bed with Janet, he heard someone whispering. A young woman, it sounded like. And when he turned to face his wife, he watched a shadowy figure run up her leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little ick. Jack claimed that a succubus entered the living room and raped him while a baseball game was playing on the TV.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, what do you even say? We're like,
right?
What do you even say to that?
There's nothing. No words.
Now, some of my sources say that he claimed that the succubus would, like, change form while this would happen, between, like, a young woman to, like, an old woman, like a crone, however you want to call that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the family also claimed to have watched their 75-pound German Shepherd levitate in the air and be thrown against the wall.
Oh, absolutely not. I'd be killing every single ghost in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can kill a ghost. Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if you can kill a ghost.
I'll be killing them again, dude.
Don't touch my dog.
Janet would sometimes wake up in a state of levitation. Another time she was violently thrown from the bed while Jack was paralyzed. Now, there was also claims that this thing had bit Jack's ear.
Oh?
Oh?
Yeah.
Any proof of that claim?
No, I couldn't really find much behind that one. And that the couple's mattress would, like, shake. They even said that the spirit threw one of the daughters down a flight of stairs.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
So we're talking, like, I would almost call it like a poltergeist type of activity.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, this is an aggressive ghost.
Now, Janet would hear running water, and it would sound like somebody was taking a bath, only to discover that no one would be in the bathroom.
But the bathtub was filled with water?
I couldn't find anything on that.
Okay.
So that I don't know. Now, on a couple occasions, Jack thought there was something wrong with the plumbing because the toilet would flush itself over and over again.
All right.
And then when he would try to go fix the issue, he would find nothing wrong with the plumbing. So this is just all kinds of stuff, paranormal things that were just going on in the home, just all kinds of stuff. They claimed that at one point it was just daily something was happening.
I feel like we moved on really fast from them being sexually assaulted by...
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, why I don't fully believe that happened. It just feels like very, I don't know, specifically weird thing to happen.
Yeah, but it's also, this was in my notes, I had made a point of, that is also so extreme, why would you make that up?
Which I do get,
You know?
that too. But, like, I'm also like, okay, this was in 1985?
80s, maybe early 70s range.
Okay, The Exorcist came out in 1970.
Oh.
So I'm like, that's why, I think maybe that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
Just because, like, in The Exorcist, like, she sexually assaults herself with scissors. I believe it's scissors. That's maybe why, like, my red flags are a little bit up, as I'm like a little suspicious.
Seeing the parallel.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing the parallel of a lot of even the other events, like the levitation and things like that. It's just a little bit like, all right.
Yeah.
Not saying that they're lying at all, because I don't know. I wasn't there. It's a little bit weird. Just keeping an eye on it.
Now, the Smurls called on the Catholic Church at some point for assistance because it was just getting bad. A priest stayed at the home for a week. Now, some of my sources did say it was only half a week, but witnessed no hauntings or demonic activity and left.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I feel like I wasn't entirely unfounded with my suspicions.
Yeah. Right.
Now, they also did multiple blessings of the home, but this didn't seem to help anything to the family's claim. Now, Janet ended up attending one of the Warrens' lectures at a local college after hearing about them from a professor.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ed and Lorraine Warren were leading demonologists and paranormal investigators at the time.
They sure were.
Hold on.
I'm not saying anything.
No,
I'm
no,
not saying anything.
We'll come to that. Hold on.
We're putting that pin in
I'm
it.
gonna
Gosh
put
darn it, Heather.
Muzzle on myself.
Now, when the lecture was over, she asked for their help. And the Warrens came to visit the property on January 17th, 1986, which from this date, it would be 13 years of living in that home.
1986, 13 years of living in the home. They moved into that home 1973, the same year The Exorcist came out.
Oh.
Weird. A little bit strange, if you will.
Mm.
Now, Lorraine Warren was a clairvoyant and a medium. Now, she detected the presence of 4 entities occupying the home. 2 female presences, one of which was a more malevolent young woman. a man who may have died either in the home or on the property decades earlier. The fourth was a demon who was head of it all, making the other spirits doing its bidding.
Okay.
Now, they did an interview with the family, which ironically, I found it on YouTube.
YouTube for the win.
Right.
So, which ironically, we could probably link if people want to go watch Ed and Lorraine talk to this family and walk around the home. It's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, just send me the link. I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah. And they essentially just talk about like what they experienced in the home. Now, according to Ed Warren, I'm going to quote him, "I did not have to wait moments when the very thing I felt was dropped in temperature of at least 30-some degrees. Then a dark mass formed about 3 feet in front of me. There was a sound in the back of me I could hear rattling around." Sorry, it took me a minute to, he worded it kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
So they're saying that within moments of being in the home, they experienced something.
Yes, it dropped 30 degrees.
With a week of the priest being in the home, he experienced nothing. Okay. I'm not saying anything about that. I know we're still continuing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, afterwards, they discovered a message was smeared on a mirror telling them to get out, which they thought that was from the demon. Now, when the Warrens played Gregorian chants and performed prayers in the home, supposedly the spirits reacted violently, rattling doors and furniture, causing objects to fly. Now, after months of investigating the home, the Warrens claimed they were able to capture audio recordings and photographs that were evidence of demonic and paranormal activity.
Oh.
Now, Ed Warren told the Times Leader in a 1986 article that, quote, "The ghost, devil, demon, or whatever you call it, is in that home."
Okay.
Okay.
Now, they actually reached out to another Catholic priest for assistance. In February of 1986, Father Robert M. McKenna performed the first exorcism. Now, the first exorcism only seemed to ramp up the paranormal activity in the home.
Which makes sense. I actually was just talking to my boss when she suggested moving to a different shop area, one where the shop owner got choked out by a spirit.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to move to that shop? What?
Well, and I said, I am not moving there.
Yeah,
and
no.
she said, we could bless it. And I was like, the spirits decide if they want to leave. You can't just bless it and expect them to go.
No.
It's up to them. Sometimes they will. Most of the time they're like, fuck you.
Right. Right.
Now, a second exorcism happened in April of 1986, and a third in June of 1986. Now, these seem to temporarily stop the activity in the home, but again, temporarily.
I always wondered if it maybe potentially weakens them, the spirits, and so that's why, even though they don't leave, things seem to get better a lot of times, and then it comes back, because they have to, rest up.
Perhaps. Now, in July, there were foul odors and disembodied voices happening again. Now, around this time, the home caught attention of reporters and camera crew, and the family was being bombarded by them. And we're talking 80 to 90 reporters would show up on any given day, Janet Smurl had claimed. So they were becoming kind of a big thing around this time when they got attention of the media.
So, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
Did the story that had happened to the family, was there any, proof of it before they actually started doing interviews and things like that and talking to reporters? Or was it all of this story came out and they're just oh, it happened over the course of the past 13 years?
I guess they went to the media.
Yeah.
From my research, they had went to the media to get help.
Okay, because that's kind of my thing. I feel if we had proof, if they had written in a journal or something, what was happening, I would be way more inclined to believe it. But it all kind of coming out after the house started getting attention is a little more suspicious, in my opinion. Do I think that there's probably something there? Yes. Do I think it maybe did all of the things that they said it did? No. I feel like they probably played it up once they realized that they could make money off of it. But I don't know the full story yet.
No,
Go
ahead.
Yeah, no, I was kind of thinking, I was just pretty much having the same speculation this whole time, too. So, it's...
But we shall see.
Yeah, so we shall see how this story ends.
Now, I will say some of my sources did say, like, the neighbors would hear, like, screams and rattlings around when, like, the family wasn't home.
Okay.
I don't know that I really could find anything to truly back that up, though.
Yeah.
Now, Janet also stated that she had once received 150 phone messages for interviews.
Damn.
Holy crap.
They appeared on several talk shows, and their story appeared in local newspapers. Now, they actually even collaborated with the Warrens on the publication of a book, and it was about their story. It was called The Haunted, which came out in 1988. Now, the Smurls left the home in 1987 in hopes to escape the activity in the home. However, it followed them, with reports of black figures and unexplained noises in their new residence.
Okay.
Now, finally, in 1989, they secured assistance from the Catholic Church, which they performed a secretive final exorcism, which was believed to expel the demon permanently. Now, details of this ritual remains confidential.
Of course.
Okay.
Smell.
Bullshit?
Yes. I was gonna do like BS, but then you finished it.
I'll just offer up the swear words that you guys don't like to say.
Okay.
Now, there have been no more reported incidences from the Smurl home since the 1980s when they left. A woman named Deborah Owens moved in 1988 after the Smurls left the home. Now, Owens told a reporter for Times Leader that nothing odd happened to her while she lived there.
Convenient for the before that.
Which, you could use the theory that it wasn't attached to the home, it was attached to the family.
But then why wouldn't it have happened in their old home?
Yeah, or like the one they moved to after that.
Well, it did.
Well, it did.
Supposedly followed them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the beforehand, like the...
Yeah, it was just like, we moved into this home, all these things are happening. We moved out of the home, the new owner says that nothing happened, so, oh my god, it followed us!
Now, in 1991, a made-for-TV movie, which was also named The Haunted, came out. It was made with support from both the Warrens and the Smurl family, and it goes over the details of their experience. Now, we also have The Conjuring: Last Rites, which is the most recent telling of the Warrens' encounter with the entity in the Smurl home.
Yes, I did know that that movie was loosely based on the Smurl family haunting.
Oh, I didn't know it was based off of that, but I knew there was a new Conjuring movie that...
Now, I don't think it's all of them, but several of the Conjuring movies are based on the Warrens' cases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like, where they've actually went to paranormal, like, investigations of places.
Oh,
Where
okay.
everything's a demon. Sorry. Letting my opinion slip through.
Now, the Warrens often cited the Smurl case as their most difficult and dangerous investigation. Now, Jack Smurl died on June 22nd, 2017 at the age of 75 due to complications from diabetes. Now, Janet Smurl passed away January 10th, 2026, so actually just a couple months ago.
Yeah, literally a couple months ago.
Now, she was at the age of 78, and the children, who are obviously now adults, live quiet lives.
Well, I'm sure that this whole media shit, probably they were like, as they got older, they were probably like, I want no part of that.
Yeah, no, I would be the same way.
I don't blame them.
Now, that is essentially the events of the Smurl haunting. Now that we've talked about the events of the haunting, I want to get to the skeptic part of this, because I think we should look at both sides of the story.
As always.
Yes.
To look at both sides of the investigation, so to speak. Ha ha ha.
Any good investigation needs both sides of the story. Oh, that should be our, like, tagline. Ooh. No, I always hate using the word investigation because it feels like when movies try to throw in the title of the movie,
Right,
it's just really bad.
Now, there's been many debates about the Smurl haunting. Now, one of the skeptics being Paul Kurtz, who was a philosophy professor at the State University of New York at Buffalo, and he was also chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal.
That's a big word for Elmo.
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them.
And he was just a very, well-known skeptic, just in general. Now, his thing was that the Warrens weren't objective, independent, or impartial investigators when they went to the Smurl home. He called the Smurls' claim, and I'm going to quote, a hoax, a charade, a ghost story.
Charade.
A charade. Why are we all fancy now?
Well,
But I like how you said it better.
I
A
know, no, that's
charade.
why I didn't say anything, because I'm like, I like that.
A hoax, a charade.
it just flows off the tongue.
Yeah,
Not like-
it makes me feel
we're here, like,
bougie.
sipping our little lunch tea.
Now, he actually went as far as to offer free psychiatric and psychological help to the Smurls.
Oh.
Now, which obviously the family declined.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, duh. Of course they are.
Now, George Joseph Kresge Jr., he was an American mentalist and television personality. He was also known as the Amazing Kreskin.
Okay.
All right.
Now, he kind of went with a different approach. He kind of, I would describe it more as like a rational approach, because he went to like try to demonstrate several ways that things can go shake or go bump in the night without paranormal
Yeah.
reasoning.
Yeah.
But he never really did disclose how he did his demonstrations.
Okay.
Which is, yeah,
And what was it? One of his nicknames?
the Amazing Kreskin.
So he's like
Kreskin.
a magician?
Right?
Yeah,
I
he
was
did like what was, I looked him up a little bit. He did like what was called mentalist tricks, I guess. He did them on television.
Okay.
So yeah, I was almost...
So he like was able, because obviously like magicians just rely on like trick of the eye mostly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're not actually like fucking wizards, you know. So he was able to prove how some of the things went wrong because he replicated them, but he still didn't give away his tricks.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Which, me.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Robert Gordon, a psychologist, I'm going to quote him. People often look at demonology to explain many tensions that they experience as individuals and within their families, and they should consult mental health professionals that are not looking at them as sick or bad, but will help alleviate their sufferings. End quote. Now, this was in a 1986 Times Leader article. Now, in the same article, it was also said that Jack Smurl told a reporter he did have surgery to remove water from his brain in 1983.
Oh.
What does that have to do with anything?
So I guess possibly before the surgery, Jack said to have been experiencing short-term memory loss, and that the problem probably stemmed from meningitis he suffered in his late 20s.
So he's saying that like he had water in his brain and that's why he saw these things?
Possibly, like, he possibly had like, I guess it could be he, like, maybe had hallucinations and memory loss. Although I couldn't necessarily find anything to back up he did actually state this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of in the air.
Because it's like, but then why would his entire family be like, hell yeah? Like, they wouldn't be like, we are seeing the same things if they're not seeing the same things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me that.
Unless, like, the wife was more willing to take advantage of her husband's hallucinations to get money or something like that and fed into it.
I have high doubts on that, though.
Yeah, like, that just seems gross. Like, so
Yeah.
I don't think that happened.
No.
Yeah, no, if they were doing all that, it would have been a mutual agreement.
Yeah, that's what I would say. If they were trying to scam, I think they would both have gotten together and been like, we should make up a haunting, get some money.
Yeah.
Now, the Warrens themselves are also a source of controversy, not only within this case, but just in general. Now, skeptics question their qualifications and the way that they do their research.
Yep.
I could tell you're like,
Yep.
Now, Ed Warren, who called himself a demonologist, was like self-taught. He had no formal training or no recognized like certifications in any form of scientific field. Not even like, what is it called where it's like paranormal,
Parapsychology. Yeah, I think parapsychology.
And there was also question whether that Lorraine was actually a medium and clairvoyant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's overall just been controversy on other cases they've worked on.
What drives me nuts. Thank you. You cued me in and I was already talking. I was already diving in before you did that. Is that every time they go somewhere, they're like, it's a demon. It's a demon that controls everything. Everything in this home is because of a demon. And it's like, dude, like, especially if she was genuinely like a medium or clairvoyant. Like I said, like I've got a little bit of something going on. I can be in touch with the other side. And you can feel the different types of energy in a room when you walk into it. And so to just automatically be like, everything's evil, it's a demon, call a priest. It's like, that's not how spirits work at all.
No.
And just every case they go to, they're like, yeah, and there's a malevolent.
calm down.
I know. I can't even talk. I'm getting worked up. Malevolent spirit. And then that's also excluding the other controversies that they have dealt with, like Ed specifically, you know?
Which we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't go down that rabbit hole.
No, but if,
No.
like, maybe for one of my minis, I'll do a deep dive on them, and we can cover it then, but right now it's...
Too much.
Yeah, too much.
Oh, yep. Too much down the rabbit hole.
Now, many people accuse the Warrens of making up or exaggerating parts of this story to make it more appealing because they would benefit from the publicity of a high-profile case, like this Smurl haunting. Oh,
That's my other point, sorry.
go
Is
ahead.
that, like, they didn't charge people to, like, come to their homes and things like that, but the entire way that they would go about it felt very scammy, because they would, like, intentionally, well, quote unquote, intentionally amp up a lot of the things to make a better story to sell. Like you said, they immediately started working on a book to publish with the Smurl families to make money off of it. Like, that was their goal with that book.
Yeah.
And that's why I was also like, I don't know, like, it feels like some of these stories were made up or exaggerated for the purpose of making it seem a lot worse. Do I think that something is in the house? Probably. Do I think that it also could have been like an egregore, where it's like they believed that something was there, so therefore it did create something? Maybe. Do I think a lot of it was exaggerated for a more clickbaity story to sell? Yes, as they have done a lot.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Sorry.
You're good. You kind of listed, like,
Oh, everything that you were about to say?
not necessarily.
I'm so sorry.
You really have a knack for that, Hatter.
I'm sorry.
Not necessarily. Well, you mentioned about preying on vulnerable people for fame and fortune. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So that was in one of my notes here, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Now, people have pointed out inconsistencies in their stories and lack of scientific evidence to support their claims in some of the cases that they've worked on as well. You know what I mean? So essentially, you kind of covered some of the stuff I kind of had going here, but that's okay. That's okay. You felt very strongly about it, so you needed to get it out.
I got worked up, man.
We didn't want to steal your thunder.
You mentioned them at the beginning of the episode, and I went, oh. It's from a show. It's called What We Do in the Shadows. It was originally a movie made into a show, but it's like, and we don't even mention his name. But I'm what is his name? Laszlo. I'm Laszlo, where he's like, I don't give a fuck. His name was Mike. It's like, that's how I felt.
That's funny.
Now, critics believe that the family was in league with the couple, an effort to make money off of the fabricated story, which the family claims they never made any money from the book or the TV movie.
Okay.
So,
But claims,
claims.
not proven.
And, no. And again, kind of where we were talking about earlier, my only thing is if we were going to make up or exaggerate a paranormal case, I don't know that I would go as far as to be sexually assaulted. That's,
Yeah. But if you're thinking about it from a money standpoint, that's also a very, wow, oh my god, I want it, like, as a person. If you were to, like, even post, you know, like clickbait, like we were just talking about earlier, when you post such a, like, attention capturing, like, caption or something,
Yeah.
if you were to post a video that you were like, the time I got assaulted by a spirit, everybody would be like, oh my god, I'm watching that, or I'm reading that book. So it's like, yeah, I do agree that it is like a crazy story to throw out there, but it's also money fucking makes people crazy. Like,
as I've talked about time and time again.
yeah, like the arsenic murder ring, you know? It's like, I do think that it's an insane poll, but I also kind of think that if somebody was going to make up a story, it's almost insane enough that you do believe that it's made up, if that makes sense.
I kind of see your point.
Yeah.
I see your point. My thought is also the kids. Like,
It also, if it was all made up, maybe that's why they're like, I need to just completely pull away from all of this, because my parents did all these like crazy things when I was a kid, and I just don't want to be in the media at all anymore. But it's also a toss-up, because they could have been like, this actually happened, and it was so insane that I just don't want to face that trauma.
yeah, I mean, it could really go either way.
Yeah, I definitely
and
can see both sides.
You know, and there's just a lot of unanswered questions about the case. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
Stuff we'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really hard with paranormal because, you know, like I always say, and we were just talking about too, like, I'm a firm believer but a healthy skeptic. And more often, my first initial thing is to disprove something than rather to prove it. Because to me, if it could be disproven in any way, then it's probably not actually happening. Which is my problem with like a lot of paranormal videos you'll see on TikTok with CGI, fucking AI, all of these things now. It's so easy to make something up that it's hard to fully believe. And the deeper that I get into the paranormal community, the less I believe most people.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I also know my own experiences, which, you know, somebody out there listening could be like, well, yeah, but that's, you know, why would I believe you? You're just recounting your own experiences. So I do get that too. Like, but from my personal experience, like, I know that there's something out there. I know that there's another side to all of this. I don't know why maybe there's another side. We could speculate about why ghosts are here or why they aren't.
That could be a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But especially with cases that get so blown out of proportion and that end up turning into such like I don't know, like a staple or are so crazy, I have a harder time believing them. Because it's like, you have all of these more real, like the Doss house, where it's like, people go in all the time and they do experience crazy things, you know, but nobody's getting sexually assaulted by a ghost. I don't know if there's any other cases of that really happening.
I don't know.
So it just feels like a very weird thing to happen to a story that also got so big.
Yeah.
Like, it's just strange.
Well, that's all I have about the Smurl family.
Thanks for letting me go on a rant.
Of course. You know, you and your little cozy corner there.
Yeah,
How
my
could we
cozy
not?
corner.
Cozy corner with the special guest star of my cat.
What do you guys think? Do you think the Smurl haunting actually happened, or?
I go back and forth. Usually it's between maybe some things did happen, maybe not to the extreme of what I found, and then there's just part of me that's like, no.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just absolutely not.
Yeah, no, like it just seems to be way too extreme and everything. And it's like the fact that they were not haunted in the house beforehand, and then they claimed that it did follow them after they moved, and then the new owner of this house had nothing going on there. That's just, that's
really raised my suspicions.
Exactly. Like, that raised my suspicions, like, to the highest level. And I'm like, I don't think it happened. Like, or like you said, even something like super minor, like the ghost like this little spirit I have here at my house. That's super minor. And you hardly ever feel him.
Yeah.
So it's
he
like,
just once in a while is like, hello.
Yeah. Like,
It's like,
hello.
ah!
Right? As you did in the mini part.
Yeah, in the mini episode.
It was like, yeah, it's like, he just pops in to say hello every once in a while, and then he's gone for a while. You know? Like, but yeah, so like something minor maybe like that. And they just ran with it and then just made it a big thing.
My thing, too, with the house thing, that, like, because you just brought it back up.
Yeah.
To say that, because Ed and Lorraine said that there was 4 spirits there. There was the demon that controlled everybody. There was 2 ladies, evil one, and
a man that may have died in the house or on the property.
A man. So it's like, even if, I guess, some of them did follow the family, you wouldn't think that all 4 of them would up and follow. Like, a lot of spirits are tied to the property that they're at. Or it has to be some sort of, like, really high energy place.
Yeah.
But if it was a really high energy place, the family that moved in after them would have things happening. They would have other spirits coming through or something like that.
Yeah, especially if, like you said, the spirits that stay there are typically the ones that have, like, died in the building.
Yeah,
or, like,
they have
near.
ties. They
and
have
then,
connections.
Yeah, and then, like you said, there's that one guy who possibly had died in the house or, like, near the house or, like, on the ground. So then he wouldn't have followed that family.
I couldn't imagine him being like, yeah, all right, peace out.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
unless it's the demon.
The demon.
no.
Well, why would the demon be like, all right, y'all bitches, you're coming with me. We're going across fucking U.S. to where, I don't even remember where you said they moved to.
I don't even
Yeah, I
remember
don't
right now,
either.
to be honest with you.
I really don't remember where you said
It just
they
all
moved
feels
to.
like a bit of a stretch.
I guess you could say that it was just maybe perhaps the demon that followed the family.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Which, sure, but then wouldn't the new owner have things happening if they're still 3 other spirits in the home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have a
see,
point.
exactly. That's what
That's
we
what
were
I-
saying.
yeah.
Exactly. We're like, what the?
That's kind of where I'm stuck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
do I think that something was there? Maybe, sure. And also, because if the new owner maybe wasn't as, like, in tune to the other side, it's very easy even for me to hear something weird happen and brush it off as the animal or, you know,
Something.
the wind hit, you know, whatever. So maybe that's what they did, even though there was maybe some small minor things happening. It's just hard for me to believe that all 4 spirits followed them, but then the Smurl family still kind of died out after that. Like, their story died out after that.
Mm-hmm.
Where if it was still like, oh my god, all this shit is still happening, it would still be happening. Like, you would still hear so much more than just this one haunting, really.
Yeah.
It's just weird. All around a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, alright. So that is the Smurl family haunting. And we have 1 mini coming out still for our that would be our last episode for PA. Scoot, you're doing that mini, and then we'll be moving on to Kansas. We're trying to get out of the eastern part of the U.S., mix it up a little bit. So yeah, so keep an ear out for those. Just once again, since we're getting really close to the Kansas month, if you guys have any personal stories or even just like you think more niche cases that we could cover from Kansas, email us at investigatingwithus@gmail.com. We would love to look into them and read them on the pod. So yeah, thanks, and we hope you keep investigating with us. Bye.
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 Would manifest in throat.
And throat?
Another time she was violently she was I guess you could throw the fury
The fury?
The fury.
January 10th, 2026.
Ba-dum.